The definition of psychic change is a fundamental shift in perspective and attitude which allows an individual to think, feel, and react to situations in new ways. This is BethWe in the Koinonia Kitchen, and I want to talk today about psychic change. Psychic change makes the difference in how I see the world. I can remember a time in my life when everything looked hopeless. Right now, I can palpably feel the pain when I think about it. Hopelessness means nothing can make it better. I am without hope. Then I found a bunch of friends who suggested I look outside of myself for power. They promised that if I would give up the role of God, another real one, a real higher power, might show up. The real one would have the power I need. They promised me that. Okay, so I thought they were crazy, but I was in so much pain that I gave it a go. The first psychic change was minuscule, but it paved the way for greater changes down the road. In the first change, suddenly I realized I didn't feel hopeless. I felt helpless. Helplessness means that I can't make it better. But hopelessness means that nothing can make it better. It sounds like such a small shift, but it was the beginning of my open mind. It was opened only a crack, but there was some light coming in. And that light was the start on my journey to wholeness. Can you see the difference? When I'm hopeless, I'm alone and pretty much doomed. But when I'm helpless, I have to look up and out for the help I need. At least I'm not doomed, and better yet, I'm probably not alone. I'm looking for help outside of myself. Once I had a buddy, he told me he thought he was getting better, and I asked him why, and he said, I used to be so self-involved, I was suicidal, but now I think of others. Now I'm homicidal. And I laughed. But only someone who's been there will laugh at that sentence. Did you laugh? I hope you laughed, because I'm happy to share the road back to the light of recovery with you if you did. Since I've been walking this path, the psychic changes keep coming, and with each one I get closer to the God of my understanding, and I'm better able to help my fellow trudgers. I am so grateful to be able to help other people the way when I first was looking, other people helped me. The psychic change is a promise for people who work the 12 steps of recovery. Somewhere between 10 and 11 in the step work, intuition becomes a working part of the mind. At least that's what's promised in the books. And that means that intuition, if it's really a working part of my mind, that I've allowed myself to become a collaborator with the unseen. That's right. My spirit nature is helping me to see things in a new way. I gotta tell you guys, the psychic change, it's worth working for. Working those 12 steps will help you get there. There are probably other ways. And I know some people that the higher power just threw the psychic change at them because they were so doomed. But that's not the norm. And when I worked the 12 steps, it was just a matter of putting spiritual principles into operation. I started by being honest. And honesty was really hard for me at first. I had been so good at faking it, or at pretending, or at blowing things bigger than they were, or shrinking them so they didn't matter. And honesty, just living with the honest truth, was a challenge. And it took me a long time to work on that. But when I got some groundwork there, I came right into hope. Hope just came through the door like I was expecting it. And once hope was in the house, faith followed right away. And with the faith and the hope before it, I had this open mind to seek. And as I began seeking, I got more and more courageous. And I decided to take a hearty look at myself. And then I gained integrity by telling someone else and God about who I thought I was and what my nature was, and asking God, could my nature please be changed? Could He please heal my nature? I learned a long time ago that the things I did wrong had to be forgiven, but the nature that caused me to do those things, that had to be healed. I became willing, and then I walked into humility. I grew more and more in the image of who I was created to be. And from humility, feeling better about me, I was able to look out, and brotherly love just came upon me. And I wanted to help other people, and I wanted to get along, and I wanted my relationships to be healthier and stronger. And you got it. Out of that became self-discipline, because other people don't think like me. I don't know what's wrong with all you people. If you all just thought like me, it would be a pretty gray world, wouldn't it? I'm so grateful you don't think like me, but I have to allow you to think the way you think. It sounds like a big ask, doesn't it? But that's part of the self-discipline of letting the other person have the last word, of knowing when to decide not to even get into the argument, of appreciating someone else's knowledge and growing with it, of listening to someone else's experience so I don't have to repeat it. I can learn from their mistakes. That's what the self-discipline of brotherly love gave me. And it landed me at this place of perseverance. I just had to keep doing it and hanging in there. And you know what happened? Psychic change happened right about then. And psychic change took me from just persevering to becoming aware. And the awareness makes me live in this world, but in a spiritual realm as well. And now that asks me to get out on the street and share the message. Psychic change is available, and it can happen. It can happen to you. Look for the 12 steps online. Just Google it. Google the 12 steps. Do some readings about it. Look for a place that teaches the 12 steps. You don't have to be an alcoholic or an addict to use the 12 steps. More and more people are using them for just getting along in life. We are all powerless over things. We're powerless over what our kids are doing, what our income is. We're powerless over different things in our lives, and that makes our life unmanageable. I can't manage to keep my thoughts straight. I can't manage to do the next right thing. I can't manage to have a positive attitude. Some of the unmanageability is pretty simply, I just am not close enough to the higher power. Because as I get there, my thinking changes. Psychic change, once again, it's a fundamental shift in perspective and attitude, which allows the individual to think, feel, and react to situations in new ways. Boy, I hope you get one. I hope you're feeling better because you had a listen. Good Seed Podcast is powered by the BethWe nonprofit ministry based in Vero Beach, Florida. Our goal is to start the uncomfortable conversations that turn complacency into action and despair into hope. Connect, communicate, and thrive with us. Check us out online at BethWe.com.